We're Cassie.
And Emily.
And this is Book Bits and Chill, a podcast where we talk about books, movies, and pop culture the way that you actually experience them.
This show is for type B readers, people who love stories but don't want the pressure, perfection, or the participation trophies.
Hit follow, grab a drink, and let's talk about it. Okay, was it just me, or did July absolutely run you over?
It really did, because it started off really strong for me and then got really weird. How was your reading month?
If I had to describe it in a few words, it would probably be summer loving with a side of an existential crisis. How about you?
Oh, interesting. It actually goes a little bit along with mine, which I would say is hot and cold.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were about to say hot and dangerous.
No, I wish. So today we need to do our July reading wrap up, where we're not holding back on the books that were overhyped, the ones that wrecked us, and which books we felt were criminally underhyped.
Then we'll cover our August TBR, including a fantasy book that's everywhere right now that we're both mid-read on and might not agree on by the time that we talk about this again.
All right, let's get into it.
Okay, so let's talk about July. I actually ended up reading a lot of books, shockingly. I was like listing it out and I was like, wait a minute. This kind of was a fun month. I was kind of all over the place. Actually, that's not true. I read a lot of romance, but then again, I read a lot of like serious books that really put me in my head, or I was like, oh,
I actually have been wanting to ask you, like, how were you deciding these reads? Was it just like holds that were coming up on Libby? Because they were so
Pretty much. There was like a couple of books that continued to come up on BookTok where I was like, I have to read this. Like, I continue to see the hype on it. I can't not read this. But then for the most part, it was Libby just like throwing bangers at me. And I was like, I gotta read it. And what kept happening to me was that I kept getting the physical copy at the same time as the audiobook on Libby. And so it's like, you can't ignore that. It's a trap.
Yeah. It's a trap. You, which maybe is a trap, fell into a book that was in everybody's book of the month this month.
Correct. I'm not even a book of the month subscriber. And I just happened to fall into a hole on the algorithm where this book called Games, a Love Story, was continuing to be talked about. And so I was like, oh, I have to read it. And then I started updating people on it. And they were like, oh my God, this is my book of the month, like 20 times. And I was like, oh.
So was it all marketing? Was it just like book of the month pushing it, or was it actually good?
So let's talk about this, because I do feel like a lot of the time, like the hype can really lie to us.
Yeah.
However, I thought that this was a great book. Like, it was incredibly unique. I feel like it falls into what I keep talking to Emily about. And she's like, yeah, Cassie, shut up. I keep talking about how in romance, I feel like there's this like emerging almost subgenre of a mixture of literary fiction and romance, where it's like these heavily character-driven stories. Obviously, that's, that has the romance in there, and that's like kind of the driver of the plot. But there's so many kind of like layers to it, and there's so many dynamics that the characters are going through, and you're just like learning so much about them throughout the book. And so it was very much that.
We did talk to an author recently who was saying that it's not that it's a romance lit pick. It's just that people don't think romance authors can be serious as well. They think it all just has to be fluffy. So, like, give romance its moment.
True. She did say that, like, marketing wise, because that was actually the same, where she marketed it as a love story. This also is Games, a love story. And I think similarly, like, they have to position it that way when there's like enough sex in the book, apparently, which is shocking to me, because I'm like, what do you mean? What's something that's like more core to the human experience than that? Like, romance or not? Than sex. Everyone's doing it. Like, how are we going to sit here
how do you think we're reproducing on this planet?
Where are all the people coming from?
So
answer me that, literary community.
So do you think that this was like more romance, or would you say it was really 50-50?
It was so many things. Like, this book actually reminded me of Into the Blue, but in a less like heartbreaking way.
Okay.
And so you have this dynamic where it was like, people have described it as like Karl Marx with more kissing, which is actually like very spot on.
I don't even know where to take that.
Fair. So basically, it's like these two people. So there's a college, she's not college, she's a grad student and she's studying economics. And she meets this guy who's like a Wall Street like CEO. He like works for his own
Mm.
hedge fund or something like that.
Older?
I can't remember. It's like older. She's
Mm.
23 and he is pushing 40, maybe in his 40s.
Oh.
And oh,
Oh, 23.
but
I was
she's
thinking
very
maybe
wise
like
beyond her
30.
years. No, that's not an
Okay.
age gap, Emily.
10 years isn't an age gap? What qualifies an
No,
age gap?
I think if you're beyond 10.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. What? Okay, so she's 29? Like, give me a break.
No, she's 23, which definitely falls into the
I know, I'm
age
just saying she could have been a little older. 23, I don't know, maybe it's because we're getting older, but 23
Yeah, that's
seems
fair.
like a baby.
She is a bebe, let me tell you. And you find that out in the book because she does seem very wise beyond her years. Like, she is incredibly smart. And a big tension point between the two of them is not only their age gap, but also their wage gap. She is poor, dirt poor. She's a student. She is just working to cobble together any cent, but she is also incredibly liberal and she is incredibly opinionated on all of her worldviews. And he is Russian and he comes from like a very tough time in Russia as well, where he was like able to make it out, comes to the US, like makes his own life, like really lives the American dream. And so he is obviously very like economically conservative, where he is just like very much on the other side of the aisle. And so there's a lot of like existential philosophical conversations between the two of them. And I felt like I actually learned a lot from like both of them, which was really interesting.
I was gonna
But
say,
then,
like, it kind of like feels like pretty like to the modern times. Like a lot of people are having those conversations in their relationships. Like I have heard so many people break up recently because of their political differences.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's so real, especially in this world where it's all very polarizing. So like the fact that these two incredibly intelligent people can like come together and like kind of make it work despite like being kind of on different sides of things is really interesting. However, there's
like,
other element of it.
Were they naked having these discussions? Like, where
a lot of the time. Yes. So the big thing that we learn is that the FMC, she is very much this like over-functioning woman. And that's like the classic case where you're literally like, oh, she is going to be desperate to relinquish control when it comes to the bedroom. And so they end up like their entire situation together is very like BDSM and like in a way that is very 50 Shades of Grey, but like with actual substance, where she's like having existential crises as like they're in the middle of what they're doing.
Shut up.
And my hand signal will tell everyone what is happening. But it was crazy. There were so many layers to it where I was like, I cannot believe what I'm reading. However, it was too long and the ending really made me upset. So I
don't know how I feel about anything you're saying. So I am desperate to know what the rating was on this.
I was really thinking it was going to be a 4-star, but then once I finished, I was like, damn, I think it's only a 3.5 for me because the ending was really, really frustrating to me, which I literally can't talk about without spoiling it. But I do think it's worth the read if you are ready to like really digest some complex character dynamics, but also like a wild, spicy side of things.
Is it kind of like when you like certain tropes, so you're like gonna give that a 5-star, but if you don't like that trope, like you're giving it an average probably?
Correct. It's like I told one of our friends who I know will really resonate with the girl that she will love this book. But when I told Emily what kind of love story she should read this month, it was Along Came a More.
Which she was correct.
That's right.
If Cassie and I can agree on one thing, it is Along Came a More.
So do you feel like this is one that is more underhyped? Because I feel like I've seen it a little bit online, but like not as much as I think that it deserves to be seen.
Okay, well, I got trapped into this book because my best friend's soulmate love of my life looked at me and said,
Mwah.
I feel so related to this woman. I feel like I can relate so much to what she's going through. And I said, I immediately need to read this book so that I know how she's feeling. Like, I need to clock in. She is telling me something. And so I do.
Me something.
Then my best friend, soulmate, love of my life, failed to tell me this is actually a third book in a series. So I don't know that I can claim if it was overhyped or underhyped, because I do really believe you should start at book 1.
I disagree. But also, you haven't seen the other 2 books anywhere, have you?
No, I haven't, but I hadn't seen this book either.
Exactly, which means it's probably underhyped.
Underhyped. I do think the series in general, like, I would read it. What is the series called?
Primas of Power.
Primas of Power. It's all Latina women and their love story, and it goes into a lot about their culture, the family relationships, like certain things that they carry as like women in these maternal families. And I think it was like very eye-opening, and also the romance was also very enjoyable. So it was like, I felt like I was like learning about another culture while also being entertained.
Yes, 100%, which Emily is an adopted Latina, so like I knew that she would really resonate with
my
that.
preferred romance, 100%. How do you say his name? Because, I'm just saying Roman, but is it Roman?
Roman.
Is it Roman? I can't roll my R's.
Roman, you literally are. You're doing a great job.
Roman. Yeah, I love the man in it. He's like a billionaire hotelier, and he is just like so kind, though. Like, he's so not kind. Like cocky.
He's like a teddy bear. Oh my gosh.
Sometimes I'm over like the cocky billionaire thing. I'm like, so you have money? Psh.
Yeah.
Psh. Psh. I'm a Primas of Power.
Of course.
Need money.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think I really resonated with the fact that like he came from nothing, and so like I don't think that he had that air of like, old money. I grew up in this way. I'm privileged. Like, he had to work for every cent that he got, and so I could understand that. But then he was just such a lover. Like, he loved his mom, he loved his sister. Yeah. He's like, I don't want them to like leave me. It's like, this is just so sweet, and it was just fun. Like, if there was so much like funny writing in here. Like, there was a lot of really good comedy. Like, it felt like reading this like parody on a telenovela that was just like so much fun. Yeah. And there was so much Spanglish in it too, which is really fun.
You know what I learned during this book? On Kindle, if you highlight a word that's in a different language, there's a translator option, and you can translate the word.
Whoa. Okay.
Hot tip. All stories are accessible. I'm
just saying. Okay, so there were some other books that I read this month outside of romance books that kind of were a little serious. So I had some books that I feel like wrecked me a little bit. And I also feel like you read a couple of books that like wrecked you in a really good way, where you like fueled a new obsession, which was exciting.
One of the books that I was incredibly shocked by you reading, because I had never heard you say the name before. I literally get on our own Instagram stories, and this little bee is holding up this book like, I'm gonna read this book.
Formerly known as soulmate love of my life. This little bee.
This little bee, depending on the category, one day. And I'm like, I never heard you talk about this. Also, this sounds incredibly depressing. What are you doing? We were just reading Along Came a Moor.
So again, I'm a slave to my Libby holds, and literally I was like, okay, my next hold just came in, and I got the book and the audio, so better listen. Better tune in.
It was. Please say the name for everybody.
The book is called Burn Down Master's House, and it was...
I was shocked. I gasped.
It's by Clay Kane, and it was an incredible book, honestly. It was one that I had like very lightly seen online. Again, similarly, I think very underhyped. The author takes I can't remember how many stories it is. It's like 4 or 5 stories that they are based on true stories about pre-Civil War era slaves that essentially rebel against their masters in
Which
like
good for them.
various ways. Absolutely. And it's a lot of it's obviously like very rooted in like how people were abused, taken advantage of, like treated not as human beings, treated as literal just property. And that was
Mm-hmm.
it, which like we know all of those things from history, but reading it from the perspective of the people in it and reading from the perspective of people who do not allow for, constant battering from the world to change who they are on the inside and change their
Amazing.
perspective on how they should live their life and the life that they deserve and how to get there is just unbelievable. And so there's a lot in there, and it's tough for me to recommend broadly because there's like a lot of like gore in there. Like the imagery is very it's big. Like it's one of those things where
Really?
literally like a lot of the scenes I was having to like deep breathe through
Oh,
basically.
I'm feeling nauseous just hearing it.
Yeah, but honestly, like I do think if you can handle it, it's so worth it to read at some point in your life because it's just not only a reminder of what people actually went through in
Yeah.
real life, in
Yes.
true stories, but also a reminder of what humans are capable of and how we can actually fight against adversity and win if you just believe in yourself and what you can do. So I think there's so
Oh,
much to that book that I was just in love with, and it just took me out when I was
I mean,
done.
it sounds like a beautiful story, like to your point that everybody should read at some point. Question, is it like a real story, like a memoir, or it's like
No,
fictional based on reality?
fictional based on true stories. So
Okay.
basically, like the book starts with the first chapter, it follows like a handful of characters that are at the same plantation. They burn down that plantation. Some people escape, some people don't. So then you follow the stories of basically on both ends.
I am proud of you for reading these stories. You always put these stories within your TBR because I'm a person that's always like, I read for escapism. Like, I only need
Mm,
to read my cutesy romance. I only need to read my romantasy. But it's really good to read these stories because we need
yeah,
this perspective. And I
we do.
congratulate you on that because you
Thank
always
you.
do that. You're very good at that.
Thank you. You
It
know,
sounds like this was potentially a pretty high rating for you.
it was. I gave it a 4 because some parts I did just like really struggle with for my
Yeah.
own like personal reasons of like I just struggle with like abuse on page. I struggle with like a
Yeah.
lot of the like gory elements, which is why I can't really read like a lot of horrors or thrillers. So that was really the only reason. But like otherwise, it was beautifully done.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
In a very interesting context switch, I also read something that wrecked my month, and it's
Correct.
hard to follow. It's a hard follow.
Okay, so Emily finally starts the Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon because I started volume 1 last month and I'm like, I think that you would love these. Like the first audiobook is literally like 4 hours or something like that. Like you could do
Yeah.
that in a cleaning sprint. And she finally goes down a full rabbit hole. Like I have to convince her to come out of it to read Along
She
Came a
tells
More.
me, you have to stop. Like, I am finishing volume 1 and I have already gotten, it's like says on my Kindle, download volume 2. And I'm like, click, like
Download.
literally no pause at all. And I stopped at volume 3 because Cassie was like, shaking me and was like, you want to savor this, save some of these books, don't read them so fast. And I was like, you're right, you are so right, I need to take a breather. But
Yeah.
you know what these actually changed my mind about so much, because they were the first book that I've read that were like a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
Like they're only like 170 to like 220 pages or something. Like they're
Yeah.
pretty short. And I don't know how, but I've never read like a shorter book like that. And I'm
Crazy.
obsessed with that format.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like the best just like Kickstarter to like your reading like pacing, I feel like, like you
Yeah.
kind of need to break it up when you have a bunch of big books on your list. It's just like too much sometimes.
And I think because it's the summer, like all of the chapters are like 3 to 5 pages long. And it's
Yeah.
like you're in between things. You have to run here, you have to run there, you're doing this. And you like in between can just like grab a quick chapter.
Yeah.
And then it's an incredibly cozy story. Like
Yeah. So
the girl.
that's
Go
my
ahead.
question because I was trying to explain this to one of my friends the other day of like I do think that this is a series that I would kind of recommend to anyone.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in your thoughts on like what the magic is of Emma and Lion because
Yeah.
it's very difficult to explain to people.
Yeah. It's a girl. So I feel like everybody kind of like loves a little like Victorian Bridgerton vibe. Like they're
Of
going
course.
to balls, they're all in like grand houses, they're wearing
Hmm.
beautiful dresses. And then there's a girl, Emma, who is kind of pushing boundaries against all of this, but in the most whimsical way. She's like,
Hmm.
I don't need a husband. I can figure this out. And she's doing these odd jobs. She's getting involved with these crowds that are so silly and so unbecoming of a Victorian lady. And she's just like such a little scoundrel. And it's like, it gives you this energy where you're like, oh my God, I want to just like have fun and enjoy my life and
Agreed.
like have a little Emma too.
She at one point in one of her entries, which I highlighted, she calls herself a scoundrel of the highest degree. And I was like,
Yeah.
Emma, you dog.
And she's so just like silly. And, you know, you think that she'd be like cast aside by society, but then everybody actually wishes they could be her, like wishes
Yeah.
they could be as like authentic as her.
Yes. Yeah. Which I feel like based off of what you described, like the other Bennett sisters, like very similar on TV.
Yes, 100%.
And I do feel like it's a little bit of like the magic of it is a little bit of that of like you have this like underdog, so to speak, or like black sheep who actually is incredible. And then you like see people start to realize that. And it's like, oh, we don't all have to be the same in our frilly
Yeah.
little dresses.
Yeah, and I also love an ensemble cast, and there's just like so many side characters in her book, and you get so invested in all of them and their storylines.
And the audio is so good. Whoever the narrator is, we have to look it up after this, but she
Yeah.
is incredible. And the way that she does the cousin's voice makes me laugh so hard.
They're all just so quirky. Like they all
God.
just have their thing going on. It's just so much fun.
Yes,
That's all I
it
can
is
say.
so
I
fun.
literally am just having a blast.
It is so fun. I totally agree. It's so different too. Like it's
Yeah.
just, it's so well done. So I had one book that I do think is potentially overhyped. I'm not going to say fully, but I think it's potentially, and people are going to get so
Ooh.
fucking mad at me.
Ooh.
But The Ballad of the Falling Dragons by Sarah A. Parker.
Overhyped?
Potentially.
Cassie,
Potentially.
I haven't heard you say this.
Here's my...
I heard
Here's
you
my rationale.
scoundrel of the highest order.
Of the
Please
highest
tell.
order.
Please tell.
Do tell.
Yeah.
So I read Ballad at the beginning of this month. I was actually really excited after When the Moon Hatched. I liked When the Moon Hatched. I gave it a 3.75, and I was
Yeah.
really excited for the follow-up to it because everyone that had been reading it already was like, this is a 5-star book, unbelievable, whatever. So I get into it, and it was good. Like it was good. And there were a lot of elements to it that I loved and I thought were so well done and very masterful. However, I think that this series needs a very strong ending for me to be convinced that this is a series that I would like be fully recommending, like with my chest. Like it is. I think it's just so niche. Like, it is very niche. Like, it's one of those
Yeah.
things where I think that it's overhyped because this shouldn't be like the next big romantasy series, that like everyone is reading. Like, I actually
Yeah.
don't know that everyone is going to love it. I think that people that are very into like epic fantasy and like very deep world building, like you're like, okay, if there's like a full like random page dedicated to some like random creature that like might never come back, like
Okay.
you have to be like very in for that. But then also you have to like be very prepared to stick with a character that like you do not fully understand. You don't
Mm,
understand why she does the way or
the
the things that she does.
FMC.
Yeah, and like what her motivations are and all of those things. I think if you're able to like really empathize, like you're a very good person with that, then you should be totally fine. But if you struggle with that, which is totally fair, and like what she's going through is very difficult, like I think it would be a challenge. Like a lot of the book, I was like, oh my God, like I understand what she's dealing with. Like this girl definitely, if she was here right now, would need some EMDR therapy. But
Yeah.
like it is, if you don't get that and you like can't really get down with that, it's
I
tough
didn't
stuff.
love her in When the Moon Hatched, so it sounds like
Yeah.
maybe this one wouldn't be for me. Like, maybe I don't need to continue this series.
Maybe not. I don't like she gets there like towards the end, which is great, but like it takes a while. And
So
like
how does
there's
it end? Is it like a cliffhanger for the next book, or
yes. Yeah.
and there's going to be
Another
three
big one.
books?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it's a trilogy.
So everybody also, is this underhyped, says that the MMC in that book is like the top book boyfriend of all time.
I cannot say of all time, but I actually am fully agreeing with how much he shows up. Like he is incredible.
Okay.
Full support on how much people are obsessed with him.
So what
Okay.
was like the redeeming part of this book? Because I'm struggling.
So I like seeing someone overcome, big hurdles, which Rave does, which is, great. And she like really
Okay.
comes into her own. I thought that the magic was amazing, like the way that it was expanded. I thought the world building was very solid. They basically spend the entire book like prepping for this like big moon fall, but then they're also looking for this bad guy. And so there
Classic
was like
bad guy.
a classic. So I really liked the like character elements of it too, like with all the side characters, and you get a lot of side character POVs too, which is really fun. There were some really good plot twists throughout the book
Okay.
too. So like there was a lot of redeeming qualities to it. I just don't think it should be this like, oh my God, everyone needs to read this like right now. It's like I don't you really need to go in eyes wide open.
And this is the first book you read this month.
Games was.
Oh, games was. I was like, wow, you really went like for a full big reading month after that, which I'm impressed because that's like a 600-page book, and to come out of it kind of like I could go into a reading slump so easy.
I literally finished a Ballad and then I started Burned Out Master's House immediately after. So
Wild.
it was literally
pipeline.
a romance with existential crisis in the middle sandwich. Because immediately after Burned Down Master's House, I read The Paradise Problem and I gave it 4.75 stars.
Yeah, that's insane. I haven't ever read a Christina Lauren, but like to whip out the 4.75, I'm like, I might need to add that to my TBR for August.
She is masterful. Genuinely, that book, if you need like a true rom-com where you are just like ready to genuinely laugh out loud as you're reading it, but like also you just will eat up the romance, like it is just so good. And it's so good to read in the summer too.
What is it about?
It is about so it's like a fake dating situation where basically this a billionaire heir to this like grocery store chain son
Very
ends up
interesting.
yeah, exactly. Ends up finding this girl to marry him, like fake marry him, because he basically to like get his trust fund, which is like hundreds of
Yeah.
millions of dollars, has to be married for 5 years. And he's about to hit the 5 year mark, and his sister's getting married, and the family is like, you have to bring your wife. And so he has to go find the wife who he literally has not spoken to in years and be like, can you come to this wedding with me? And
I actually
obviously
do love
antics ensue from there. And the
I
FMC
actually
is
do
so
love that.
funny. It's so good. I think you would actually be obsessed with it.
I love a forced marriage trope. What does that say about me?
Yeah.
I just like really, I don't know. I love the idea that like they have no option to leave.
No option. Well, and then they go to like a remote island, like in Southeast Asia too. So that's like a forced proximity type of thing too. So there's a lot of there's a lot of that for you in
And I
there.
just love that moment where like it clicks that they're like no longer like faking it. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. But then they're like, are we both not faking it, or is one of us
Right.
still faking it? Like, I don't know. It
Right.
adds a lot of good tension.
I did like that element of this book where, again, it felt like an adult romance because they were very eyes wide open on where they both were. Like, they were both very aware. They were like, oh, it clicked for us both. Got it. We're in this.
Okay, I might read this one because I was very tempted to read the romance revival after I found out that it's about a necromancer and it is not a summer beach read.
No. I do actually want to read that in August, so I'll let you know how it goes. You should start with The Paradise Problem, though. Tried and true.
Okay. Well, we do need to talk about something before we fully dive into building our August TBR. And it's that we do have a straggler of a book, dun dun dun, that is carrying from July to August. And this one is divisive.
Correct. It is. It's this one might be a heated rivalry for the both of us.
Yeah. And that book is This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me by Alona Andrews.
I think so. Yeah, that sounds right.
Shout out Alona. I remembered your name. So like maybe I do love it. No, it's just that this book is taking me so long to read that I've looked at the cover so many times that I remember the author's name.
Emily will not put down this book. Like, I keep being like, you need to walk away from this book and like start something else because you are going to put yourself in the reading slump of a lifetime if you finish this and you hate it.
This is what happened. So I, going in, thought this was a romantasy book. I don't think I understood. And so I start reading it and I'm like, oh, this is literally a full-on fantasy. Call a friend that's read it to confirm. She confirms. I'm like, I was not really in the mood for this, like, but now I'm already here. And so I keep trying to read it and I like soft DNF it. I'm like, it's not time. I didn't read for like 4 days. It was wild. And then I found myself picking it back up again. And I'm still reading it.
She's a masochist. I like literally, again, slowly walk away from this book. Like, I don't understand.
The thing is, I don't hate the book. Okay, I don't hate it. Like, it has some redeeming elements to it. It has all these side characters that she meets along her journey, her quest, one might say. Right. And I really like those parts of it. It's about a girl that gets dropped into her favorite fantasy novel. So she's like a modern girl, and she's able to tell all of these side characters like what's going to happen to them, and they all think she's like a psychic and can like see the future. And she's like, well, I'm going to kind of like try to save my favorite people from this story because now I have the ability to change these outcomes.
Correct.
Sounds so fun, right?
Okay, so I have to come from the other end because I am on chapter 7. I'm not that far in, but I'm actually having fun with it. Like, I'm enjoying the story. I did go in with the expectation that it's just a fantasy, by the way.
Good
like,
for you. I'm sure it's making it a great read.
However, I think the other difference is that Emily started it on audio.
Yeah, I did.
And this book, the start is so confusing. You're like, wait a minute. Is she already in the book? How did she get there? What is she doing there? How is she trying to survive? Who are these 50 characters that she's meeting? And there's not often a good explanation because she already knows who the characters are. So she's like, oh, that's Galliana or whatever. And like, it's like a quick blurb about it, but then she like moves on. And so I started eyeball reading it. I think I literally listened to it for like 5 minutes and I was like, nope. And that has changed the experience entirely for me.
I will say I started liking it when I started eyeball reading it. So that's why I haven't given up.
We have a testimonial.
I switched to eyeball reading.
I switched.
I saw the light. And I do think I also switched my brain to understanding that it's a fantasy book. And so there's a ton of world building.
Yes, there is.
Imagine you think you're reading a romantasy book and you're like immediately going to meet some shadow daddy in the corner. And you're like, oh, wait, I need to download an entire map of a fantasy kingdom into my head in the first 10 chapters.
So I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. I personally think that I'm going to be into it, but we'll see.
Well, this book is carrying us both into August, so you guys will have to come back on our next wrap up to see who finished it and who did not.
Okay, so once you finish this one, I'm
Yeah.
interested in how you're going to follow this up.
Well, I was just going to say, so many people have told me that, like, this book is so good, that book is so good. I also have been hearing the same thing about another book, and I'm now not trusting my own opinions. So
she's gaslighting herself.
I have been seeing everywhere this new, I'm using quotations, new release from Kristen Hanna. And I'm like, what the? Did I miss something? Like, no way. I would be so locked in if a new Kristen Hanna book was out. But like, why are people literally holding this cover up on BookTok being like, I'm obsessed with this Kristen Hanna book I've never seen in my life? Come to find out. It's called On Mystic Lake. It was written in 1999. It is being
was that her literal first book?
I don't know. It is being re-released by a new publisher with a new modern cover and everything. And everybody is like, this is an amazing book. Everybody needs to read it. It's a second chance romance, hometown second chance romance, first love.
What?
By Miss Kristen Hanna. I think I need to read it.
You just said every possible buzzword that would get me to read a book, including Kristen Hanna.
But
that is crazy.
1999, I'm not sure what was going on in that year.
What did the world look like?
Like, think about it. No, but like, no, they're not gonna have like any phones. Like, there was no phones.
Bill Clinton
and so,
was still our president. No, maybe it was George Bush. I can't remember.
So they're gonna be like, oh, I need to like contact this guy, and they're gonna have to go knock on his front door. Like, there was no phones.
Wow,
which is kind of gonna be interesting.
You just made me add this to my August TBR.
I
didn't even have it on my list.
So, but I'm scared now because like I keep believing everybody on the internet and not trusting my own instincts.
Good for Kristen Hanna though, getting her bag like that. Like that's amazing. Go off. I'm very intrigued. I don't know. I just feel like if the internet is freaking out about a Kristen Hanna book, it's probably right.
I mean, I'm sure her entire catalog is good, but again, like we're just not going back that far.
Yeah, that's true. Wow, color me intrigued. I'm so excited. I have a book that is on my TBR that I continue to see the internet say, this book will wreck you. This book will make you cry like you've never cried before. This book is going to take you out.
What?
Yeah. It's called The Good Parts. And I am not kidding you. Like, I have seen early reviews on this book for weeks, and it's the same thing consistently. And, you know, again, like, those are all the buzzwords that are going to make me read a book also. Yeah. And so I have been, like, white knuckling my chair waiting for this book to come out. It finally came out today. I literally was like, do I put down This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me so I can start this book immediately? Like, that's how intense the reviews have been on this.
I've been so where you are. I've been in your seat before wanting to put that book down. No, but really, I seriously have never heard of this book. Who's the author? Is it somebody we know?
No. Let me look it up. It's a guy, Evan Normandin.
And what's it about?
Let's see. I don't even know. That's how crazy these reviews have been. Okay. An epic, unforgettable love story about a woman who takes a memory erasing pill and the man she once loved who returns as a stranger, hoping to make her fall for him over again. Oh.
Why'd she take the pill?
I don't know. I guess that's what we're going to find out in the book.
You know what that weirdly just reminded me of? 50 First Dates. The Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, I bawled during that whole movie too. So
same. So maybe I'll get tears. Who knows?
Oh, that is
but
really
I am
interesting.
Like very due for a good book cry, so I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah. Wow. I
Uh,
am also really locked in on how you feel about that because I might have to add that to my TBR. That sounds so interesting.
you don't like sad books.
I like the concept of the pill.
Sad
I'm
books,
like,
but I like the concept of a memory erasing pill. Thank you
it's
very much.
giving that Apple TV show Severance and like,
Yeah,
what's going on here? Like there's always a deeper reason. And I like
true.
that like deeper psychological reason about like why people decide they need to do this.
You're right. You're right. I totally agree. So I'm going to preview that and the
Yeah,
romance revival
please.
for you, and I'll let you know.
Okay, I love that. You know, earlier I was talking about my new obsession with shorter books.
Yes.
Have you seen these books that are going around? They're called like the 831 stories, and they all have like geometric, different colored squares on the fronts.
No.
They all look the same. 831 stories, look it up.
Okay.
And they are all short stories. I don't know how long they are, but they look about the size of Emma M. Lyon. And they're all like romance stories that this publishing house is putting out. And somebody had compared them to like almost reading fan fiction. Like they're
Oh, I
super,
have seen these. Yes.
yeah, they're super fun, like short, straight to the point, like romance stories. And there's
Yeah.
one specifically, it's called Big Fan, I think. And it's
Oh.
about a woman that like ends up in a relationship with a guy in a rock band. And ever since
Oh.
we did our spicy romance episode, I've been wanting to read a rock star romance.
You did really talk about that with a lot of yearning in your
Yeah,
voice.
I
So that
know.
makes sense.
And so I feel like it's the perfect combination of the rock star romance and like a short
Yeah,
read, like such low commitment. And so I'm
totally.
excited to give these stories a shot.
I love that. I'm gonna literally look up all of these stories because I'm
There's
so
so
intrigued.
many.
There's so many. I'm looking at it right now. That's
And they
crazy.
sell them in packs. Like there's like trope packs. Like one of them I
Oh,
think is like
cool.
literally like marriage of convenience pack, and it's like 3 different stories.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
I'm excited
Sign
for
me
that.
up. I'm excited. Okay. Well, I think there's a final category of books that I'm seeing on our TBRs. And when I saw this, I was like, are we okay?
What is it?
Literally, I want to finally read Piranesi, which I'm very
Yes,
excited
you
about.
need to. Yeah.
And I also saw that you were planning on reading The Alchemist for the first time. And
Yeah,
I was
we're
like, what kind of
obviously
existential something are we trying to go through over here?
we're clearly not okay. Like, you know, you can mask anything all day long. You can see this smile on my face right now, but I need
It's a
to read The
performance.
Alchemist. Yeah. I need to have my midnight train moment that I was screaming about all of
She does.
June.
Yep.
I need my moment. And I
Bring
need
her
to read
back.
The Alchemist. Bring me
Mhm.
back to what life is really about. Reset my expectations. I
Yeah.
need to be settled so that I can ignore all this drama and stress around me.
That's right. And then take us back to St. Crispian's.
Yes.
Back to Emma.
Literally, if I read The Alchemist and Emma and then big fan of Rockstar Romance, watch out. Watch out for me end of August. Like, I will be out of control.
Seriously, we're gonna be that wrap up is gonna be unhinged in so many ways.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I think we have a lot of good books on our list. We have a handful of others. We're both reading The Love Hypothesis with our Patreon book club. So if you guys want to join in, please do. We're reading it and wrapping it up at the end of August. So plenty of time to join in. And then we're going to watch the movie together, which I'm so excited about.
That was going to be so fun.
Oh, it's going to be so good. And then, of course, my Libby prison that I'm in, I have multiple books that I have gotten a lot of good things on. So Razorblade Tears, The Shampoo Effect.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. And then we're going to read a book called Little Wonder by Sophie Chen Kellers. It's her debut novel. I'm really excited for that. Yeah, supposedly love sad books now. Evenings and weekends, I'm finally going to read. People keep talking about that being like the summer book. So I'm very pumped. So yeah, we have a lot of good stuff on our list right now.
You guys are not going to want to miss this August wrap up, clearly. Between Cassie reading anything that comes through on her Libby and me trying to reinvent myself, you're going to want to be back for this.
Go back to see who Emily is at the end of August.
Yeah.
My God. All right. I think next week we are talking to a very special guest.
I am
I'm
so excited. I literally have butterflies. So you guys are not going to want to miss that. Tune in next week for our interview with Emma Brody, author of Into the Blue. And until next time, bring your blankets, bring your book boyfriends, and we'll see you then. See ya.